Okay, here we are again. This is, what is this? Friday the 4th. Yeah, Friday the 4th. And you'll be doing this in week 2. This is lab 5, and you'll be doing that in week 2. And there are 3 episodes, experiences. I hesitate to call them experiments because we're not collecting data. They're exercises is what they are. You know, they call them experiments, but that's not necessarily a good definition. Anyway, lab 5, experiment 1, and we start by washing our hands. So I'm going to use this foam alcohol to do that, because there's no sink in this room, and where there is a sink, there's no camera. So, and then we don our gloves. It's an interesting word, don. There's a corresponding word, doff, which means take off. And I'm not sure how old the English was, where that came from, but anyway, there it is. We don't usually use it in daily speech, but they use it in these lab instructions, so that's fine. Fine. Let me get my voice tone up a little bit. Sometimes I can be too laid back. Okay, here we are. All right, so we've washed our hands. We put our gloves on. Counting tray in the workspace. Okay. We're going to disinfect the counting tray with an alcohol swab. We're in the middle of cleaning the carpets here, so the alcohol swabs are out of reach. So I'm going to make an alcohol swab, piece of gauze with some alcohol, and often you'll find a lot of pharmacies will they'll have a little container with a lid on it that'll have some gauze pads, and you add a little alcohol to it every once in a while just to get it damp. But anyway, so you may actually do something more like this at work than tearing open a fresh alcohol swab. Anyway, there we have it. We don't want it soaking wet. So that's that. Little moment to air dry here, because I don't want we don't want the tablets to get alcohol. They'll soften up. They'll start to dissolve, and then they'll get messy. They'll be a mess. Just for the sake of thoroughness, get a paper towel and make sure this is good and dry. That's better. That's better. Okay. All right. So then what we have to do is we have to take the tablets. I think there's a Ziploc bag that says placebo tablets. We may have used them already. These are the ones that we counted in a previous exercise in PTA 176. In any event, we need some tablets. And there they are. Take our spatula. We're going to count them. Can I get this camera down? Oh, that's better. Okay. Get this camera down on here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 31. Okay, I don't know what's there. I think there may be 10 left there. That would be good. Yeah, see? If it's damp, the tablets kind of stick, and there you see the tablets sticking. To the, there you go, okay. Sticking to the counter. There's the counting tray. This is the counter This is the counting tray. All the words sound alike. I know. Okay. All right. So there's our 31. And we're going to put the tablets, the counting tray, and then we're, oh. Okay. All right. Pick up one tablet at a time. All right. So I guess we'll pick them up out of the trough there. Okay. This is our 31 tablet blister pack. This is the type of packaging that you'll commonly see used in nursing homes. And a lot of pharmacies service nursing homes. They're the pharmacy, and the pharmacist is a pharmacy consultant for the nursing home, and then the pharmacy also provides service. You can't see my face. Okay, well, maybe that's not the good part anyway. I don't know. So anyway, we're making these blister packs. If you've ever visited anybody in a nursing home or worked in a nursing home and seen people passing meds, this is where you'll see these kinds of things. So you pick these up and you stick them in there. Okay. And it's true. They mentioned in the lab manual that this is not a sterile procedure. So why are you washing it? You still want to be clean. Okay. Yeah, it's not sterile. It's not sterile. It never was. Okay. And it's not necessary to be sterile because it's oral. And the gut can cover for a multitude of sins when it comes to sterility. It's not necessary that everything that you swallow be sterile, and it never has been, it never will be. Oh, goody. Yeah. See what happens when you get more than one in your hand? You might get more than one in a in a set. There we go. All right. There we have it. There we have it. And there, 31. See, there's our 31 tablets and our 31 tablet blister pack. Pretty sure we're done with our, well, no, we're not done with our counter. I didn't put it too far away. Okay. And then we have to put the, what do I want to call it? The label backer. Okay. That's probably as good a name as any on the back there. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to peel this protective paper off here. And you'll notice that it lines up. Okay, there are cuts and so forth. If you line up the edges, you line it up and you press that down on there. And a lot of times, if you're in a place that does this routine, if you're working in a place that does this routinely, it'll sit in a molded plastic frame, so everything's nice and solid. It's not just sitting on the counter. Okay, we're only doing one, so. This is good enough for what we're doing. And there you go. So there you have your tablets in the blisters. Okay, and they're easily counted. You can look at them and see right away. Okay, now this says start at 31. I don't know why they count down, but all right, that's fine. Okay, and it tells you over here reorder. So when you get down to this point, it's time for the nurse that uses these to be calling the pharmacy and say, hey, can you send us more? Even though it may be only once a day, and that would leave you with 8 days. That's nice because everybody doesn't have to rush to hurry and do things in a big rush. Okay, so they get interesting. They get more blue as you go to the right, as you get closer to being out of tablets. Fascinating. Okay. So we have the instructions here in the lab manual. They tell you what we need to fill in the labeling here. Okay. So it's ordered by Dr. Jane Doe. And let me see. And the order came in 2 days ago. Well, today's the 4th, so it came in on January 2nd of 2019. Can you imagine? We're in 2019. Well, we are. Okay. And what is it? Okay, they tell us it's furosemide. Okay, they don't tell us what the strength is. So it's whatever strength they want it. Furosemide comes in 40s and 20s, and oh, I think it comes in 80s as well. You don't see 80s very often. 40s is the most common dose, 20s less common. Okay, but it doesn't say anything about that here. So we're not going to. We're just going to say furosemide. We're going to leave the strength open. If they told us the strength, if the strength were labeled here or anywhere else, we would fill in the strength, but we can't. Okay. And the manufacturer is Heart Pharma. Okay, which actually does not exist. And it was from lot 123. That's a good number. Okay, we fill that in. And it expires 1 year from today. So that would be 1/4 of 2020. Okay, 1/4 of 2020. And then once it says received by, start date, date filled, we can put in the date filled. 1/4/19, there we have it. Okay. And filled and sent would be the same day. Boom, there we go. Okay. Received by, start date, that would be something that the facility, the nursing home, more likely than not, would fill in when they receive, who received it and when they plan on starting it. That would be filled in there. So there, I know the camera makes it backwards and you can't read it, but you get the picture. Okay. So that's how that works. That's blister packaging. Okay. And next we're going to count 10 tablets using the counting tray and the spatula. Please have 10 more. Please let me have 10 more. I do have more if I need to. 5 and 4 is 9. Wonderful. We get 9. We have. I'm still here. I didn't go anywhere. Hold on. Here's some more. Hey, there. As soon as I get my gloves on, my nose starts to run. Okay. 10. Wonderful. All right. And what are we going to do with this? We're going to unit dose them. We're not going to use this whole thing. We're just going to use 10 because, well, just an example. 10's enough. Okay. And unit dose would be the type of packaging that you would use, more likely than not, in a hospital. You may use it in a nursing home for a stat order, for a one-time order, or something like that. This type of thing, again, for a nursing home would be the kind of thing they would routinely use. Okay, but they may use some unit dose as well. Hospitals use unit dose practically exclusively because the tablets can be identified right up until the time that they're given, and they have there's integrity to the packaging that way. All right, so we just put one in each cell in this little plastic blister pack. And this is they should have said do 8 because they're in rows of 4, and we should have done either 8 or 12. I'm just going to do 8. Okay, it says 10 in the book, but just do 8 because it's gonna fit oddly if we don't. So let's just do 8. That's good. Okay, that makes more sense. And the backer then would look like this. Okay, and we're gonna put this on. Okay. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and this is tricky because it's sticky and I'm wearing gloves, so it's a bit of a challenge. But there we have it. And again, usually when you're doing this with this kind of packaging, this is going to sit into a molded plastic unit where it sits stable. But we're just going to be careful here and do the best we can. And there. Now there's another usually I'm going to give you in a minute here. Okay, there we go. Okay. This doesn't say anything, right? Doesn't say anything. We're going to label the bag that we put this in, just so we're not labeling, just so we're not labeling it at all. Okay, I'm just going to take a bag like this. I'm going to put this in here. Okay, but normally what you would see is these cell labels would be printed by some kind of software, and you would set it up and it would have name and lot number and expiration date and strength and all that of the tablets printed on here. Okay, before you would ever peel these off, before you would ever even enter the room where you're going to package them. Okay, that would most likely be the case. If that were not the case, then you would write these, which would be highly unusual, write or type on this form, on this sticker, before you peeled it off and put it on the blisters here. Okay. Our lab doesn't seem to go into it that way. We're going to put this in a bag, and you've got a lot of these bags left over. Okay. And then we're going to take a label. Wait a minute. Let's not get these things. All right, we'll take this one because it's already started to peel. Okay, we'll put that on there. We're going to cover up where that says weight paper. I should have written on it before I stuck it on there because that's going to be harder to write on, but not impossible. Okay, and this is furosemide. And there are 10 of them. And today is 1/4/19, and you put whatever day you do this. Someday next week. And put your name on there. And there you have it. There you have it. But again, I want to point out that in real life, more likely than not, you will have printed these. There would be software that would come with this. And you could stick these labels in your printer, and you can print these labels so that it would have the complete information regarding the drug on each blister. Okay, drug, strength, lot number, expiration date, use by date, okay, which is different from expiration date. Look into that, learn that, because there's a difference. And by the way, odds are very strong that you'll get a question about use by date, or 2 or 3 questions on the PTCB when you take the PTCB. So make sure it's used by date is never beyond the expiration date. It's usually shorter. Generally on a low risk thing, and this would be low risk. It's a year beyond the date you package it. Some things are higher risk, so check that out. Okay, so that's that. All right, so that's experiment 1. Okay, all right. Let's stop this for now so we can record it, and I'll see you with the next one soon.